What is up, everybody? Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. It is Tuesday, May 6th, and we are here to chat some NXT. It's your girl, Denise Salcedo, joined by Chinedu Ogu. Chin, wow, what a night of NXT action we had today, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's always a great night to hang out with the homie Denise Salcedo and the amazing DWO and watching the best wrestling in the world, NXT. I saw two of my favorites tonight, so I'm very happy with this episode.
Dude, me too. I gotta tell you, I'm very happy with this episode today too. There was a lot of stuff that kind of have me going like, all right, what's gonna happen here? And I have two bold predictions for today, which I will get to once we actually get to those topics. But I do feel like today's episode of NXT, I wasn't even expecting too much from it. I went into it really only looking forward to Jordynne Grace and Giulia. Like that was really the thing I was looking forward to. However, some other things surprised me on the show. So let's get to it though. I want to kick things off with Jordynne Grace and Giulia though. We need to start there because I just finished watching the match right now. I know it's running a few minutes late. And I was looking at this, Chin, and I was thinking to myself, dude, I'm starting to think Giulia owes Jordynne Grace money or something because the way that Jordynne Grace was hitting Giulia, dude, this was hella aggressive, man. And like, I feel like Giulia brought her A game, but Jordynne Grace brought her A plus game. She was hitting her with those slaps. I mean, dude, like I started to think, oh, yo, Jordynne Grace must really hate Giulia just based off the aggression. What'd you think, Chin?
I thought the same thing too. I was like, first of all, who said what backstage? Because I really thought like after the show went off stage, something happened because some of them hits, I was like, ain't no way, ain't no way this is just cool. Because somebody else like, hold on, wait a minute. Now backstage, if nothing happens, I'm cool though. But something has to have happened. There's no way those punches were too stiff, too aggressive, too angry. Something happened. I don't care what nobody says. Something happened between those two backstage. My theory.
Unless they were just like, let's go out there and let's show them, like, obviously, that strong style. Let's get to it. Let's show them what we're made of. Clearly, this is us just putting them over for what they did out there because it was hard hitting. But with that being said, though, love the match. Great main event. I was all in, mainly because it felt like a real fight to me. Like I felt like these two girls legitimately hated each other. But with that
Yes.
being said, though, Jordynne Grace gets the victory here, and we're finally getting the match that I have been waiting for, one-on-one. Jordynne Grace versus Stephanie Vaquer at NXT Battleground. And so far, they have some interesting matches that are being made for Battleground, but I want to start off by saying this. This is my first bold prediction of the night. I don't even know if it's that bold, but I'm running with it. I think Jordynne Grace is winning at NXT Battleground, and I think Stephanie Vaquer is going to go up to the main roster. And the only reason I say that is because, and this is my bold out there prediction, the only reason I say that is because of the focus that they have been putting on Stephanie Vaquer, the attention they've been giving her, the moments that she's had on the main roster. I wouldn't be surprised if they just like shoot her on up. Again, bold prediction. I just really feel like Jordan's winning this. What about you, Chin?
You're not too far off. I really felt the same way because again, once Jordynne Grace arrived, it really felt like they had the rocket strapped on her. You mean like she immediately rose up the ranks to the title picture. Like she didn't go through not too many feuds to kind of get her established with the NXT audience, though. They already feel confident that they know who she is already. I feel they definitely feel confident in her being the next world champion. And I see that too. Although I know Stephanie is over with the NXT crowd, I feel WWE higher up see a lot of potential in Stephanie, her appeal, her marketability, especially as they expand to these international markets too. They want her front and center, which I do understand. So I definitely believe in that prediction. I see her dropping it and moving up to Raw probably. So I can agree.
Dude, I don't really know because you mentioned that markability, I can't even say it, markability of Stephanie Vaquer. And you're so right, man. I mean, look at when WWE went out there and they made that announcement with AAA and the announcement of them acquiring AAA. And yes, I just said it in Spanish and then in English. I need to stick to one, okay? Don't shoot me right now. Anyway, so with the whole AAA WWE partnership, I don't exactly really know what that's gonna look like, right? Like, we still don't really have any idea. Now that I think about it, I feel like I can't imagine Stephanie Vaquer, though, leaving to the main roster before that Worlds Collide show. I'm predicting she's got to be on that show. I don't feel like there's any way she's not on that show. So that's another thing. But the only reason I said, Jordynne Grace, she did come in red hot to NXT, and we thought she was going to be instantaneous champion. But what happened was that during this time, we were seeing a lot of, top names kind of come very close to each other. It was Giulia, Stephanie, Jordynne, etc. And so it kind of felt like if there wasn't all these people, it might have been Jordynne's chance. So I don't know if they're going to extend this after, like, if they could run back Jordynne and Stephanie again after Battleground or go to Worlds Collide. I don't know. I feel like the AAA stuff kind of leads me. That's the only thing right now that's kind of keeping me from feeling so bold about my prediction.
Absolutely too. But overall, I just feel that she's main roster bound, surely though. I mean, I know there was an interaction backstage with Lola Vice and things like that. And again, I'm very happy to see Lola Vice back on television again. I'm very happy about that. I'm happy to see her in contention for that title because that's where her and Jaida Parker belong. They belong, and Kehlani, to my opinion, at minimum in contention, always vying for the world title. No more mid-card stuff, whatever. So I would like to see that feud, but overall, I do feel she's better suited for the main roster. Jordynne Grace is world champion, and have her, have the contenders, like I said, Lola Vice. There's Miss Parker, love Miss Parker, things like that. And there's always this a whole host of women to have new feuds with as Jordynne Grace is champion. So I do feel if she goes up to the main roster, I feel it'll be good. It won't leave NXT in a lurch, and I really feel the main roster needs more talent like that anyway.
Yeah, so Lola Vice, you mentioned her. That's somebody that every single week I feel like you and I come out here and we're thinking, where is Lola Vice? And so she finally appears tonight backstage and she tells Stephanie Vaquer, hey, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for your championship. And then they're both confronted by Giulia, who essentially echoes the exact same thing. And I'm thinking, dang, well, first of all, good, because everyone should want the champion, right? That's the goal of it all. But I do, it was weird because even though Lola Vice said she's coming for the championship, there's two things. One, we haven't seen too much of Lola Vice as of late. They need to remind people who Lola Vice is, what she did, what she's all about before she goes back into this and gets back into that title picture. Just remind us a little bit of what Lola Vice has done because it's been a minute. And then secondly, even though I know she said she's coming to be an opponent of Stephanie, part of me wants to see them team up together, even if it's just for one match. Actually, that's all I'm asking for. One match, team Stephanie and Lola, because I need to see these like hot Latinas together. I'm sorry, you're leaving me out here wanting to see this, and seeing them together. That's what I want, honestly. Just for one match, please. Even if it's a coexist kind of crap, I will take it. I just want to see them on the same side.
I truly feel WWE can make money off of this, man. Latina Heat as the tag team, the merchandise it would sell. That's money, guys.
I just thought about something. Pause, Chin. Lola and Stephanie at Worlds Collide. Two Latinas in Los Angeles.
For the title?
For the title.
Wow, that now. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Okay,
that would be good.
No, I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know.
I think it would be good because once again, like I want to see more of Lola Vice, like again in that picture against people like Stephanie Vaquer, because that's where she belongs at. And I'm hoping to see that though, because again, I truly do feel that her days in NXT are numbered, just because she's already been called up to the main roster. They saw the reaction she got. She got a big reaction from that crowd, and so they know she is. I feel like they usually kind of bring them up to kind of test where they are with the crowd. And I feel they feel confident in where she is in terms of her standing with the WWE Universe on the main roster. So once again, your prediction for real is a ticking time clock. No carrying cross. By the way, we are in such a backwards world where these fools are trying to cheer for carry. I know I'm sorry, random. I'm sorry, we'll get to that. I'm sorry, but just bizarre world. But yes, I do hope to see that at Worlds Collide. That would be a great match. That could possibly main event, in my opinion.
Dude, I'm sorry. I'm like I'm fantasy booking right now, so please don't hate me for it. But I'm sorry. This is just as a fan of what I see and the fan of the women's division. I'm just fantasy booking at this point. All right, but let's get into some of these super chats and then we'll go ahead and press on because we still got to get into another thing, another big matchup that is going to be happening for NXT Battleground and another bold prediction incoming soon. But we got Jared here who kicks us off with a super chat saying Jordynne and Giulia beat the shit out of each other. Jared, exactly copy and paste what you just said was my thoughts on this match. Right at the beginning, we're like, yo, what happened here? She stepped on her toe or something? What happened? Because there was some animosity there. We got Sheldon Jackson here who says Miles Bourne versus Oba Femi for the NXT title, Trick versus Hendry for the TNA title, and Vaquer versus Grace for the NXT women's title. Still watching AEW Double or Nothing first, says Sheldon Jackson. So my plan, by the way, I absolutely just hate when this stuff happens. I do not like when pay-per-views run on the same day. So I'm still trying to figure out my plan for all of this. But regardless, I will be covering both shows, even if I do it in a different order. Anyway, but with that being said, though, that card for Battleground is starting to shape up. So I do want to take a second, though, and let's get right to it, guys. Let's get right to it. When it comes down to Trick Williams and Joe Hendry. This is a feud that we've seen culminate now for the last couple of weeks. Two guys we're big fans of. And they're going to do a contract signing next week for their NXT Battleground match. And Chin, I'm feeling like, here's my bold prediction. I don't know how bold it is, but dude, I think Trick Williams is winning the TNA World Championship.
Yes.
I think it's happening. I think it should happen. Let me say that too. I think it should happen for two reasons. One, actually 3 reasons. One, it'll really make it feel like this partnership between WWE and TNA. It'll make them feel linked up. Like, okay, this is a big deal. This is linking. We're linked up completely here. 2, think about the buzz of seeing that. Like, no matter what, whether or not people watch NXT or NXT Battleground, they are going to be talking about Trick Williams defeating Joe Hendry for the TNA Championship. And third reason is Trick Williams is not just some random guy on the show. Like, dude has actually worked hard. He's gotten himself over. He's made a name for himself. So it wouldn't be like Joe Hendry was just losing it to just anybody. Like, Trick Williams has put the work in. And I don't feel like we should be offended, you know what I'm saying, if Trick Williams were to defeat Joe Hendry for the TNA World Championship. So those are my 3 reasons as to why.
Absolutely. I mean, just think of the monster heat he would get, because I feel like they're on their way to making him a heel. What better way than have him be the insane egomaniacal champion over a brand he don't really respect? Care about this title, man. Like, that would be great. Like, heel heat, and then see who will, like, try to rise up a challenge to take it from him. Will it be Joe Hendry? Will it be Moose? Who will it be? Nick Nemeth? Will he come back to NXT and so do something? Like, I love the options, the possibilities. We talked about this a few weeks ago, and I'm all for Trick Williams being the TNA champion. I think it'll be a great idea.
Dude, when you mentioned the heat, I didn't even think about that, to be honest.
Yes.
Like, I think I forget Trick Williams is the heel because I'm such a fan that he's not a heel to me. And when you said it, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Trick Williams is a heel. Duh. I'm a Trick Williams fan. So like, I freaking forgot. But yeah. And I also feel like, you know, Joe Hendry, we already know he's going to be up and doing great things. So like, it's one of those things that you scratch my back, I scratch your back type of thing, where if, you know, he had the WrestleMania match with Randy Orton, he was in the Royal Rumble, and then, okay, he loses the title. Let's say he loses the title to Trick Williams. Then all of a sudden we see Joe Hendry do, I don't even know what else there is to do next at this point. I feel like there's always like a give and take sort of deal. So I wouldn't be opposed to it. We got Sammy Swampai Boone who says, ooh, this is a hot question today. He says, which one are you going to watch and do a live stream, AEW Double or Nothing or NXT Battleground? I should probably have the people vote at this point, right, Chin?
Well, see, this is how I read this. The way I read this, and Sammy, I could be wrong. I read this as, who do you want to hang out with more, Chinedu or Red? So that's how I saw it. That's how I see it. So I don't know if I'm read it wrong, but that's what I see. I just want to know.
Damn, I'm on the hot seat. Damn. Y'all have me out here doing Sophie's choice.
We want to know. So what's
Well, I'll keep you guys posted. Maybe I'll run a poll. Okay. I always do what the people want and what the people demand. All right. I think I've proven that time and time again here. Thank you, Sammy. We got Larice Johnson who says, this was an awesome NXT. Women stole the show. And this was 10 out of 10. The best NXT ever. Main event was 5 stars. It was a hard hitter, man. That's for sure. A definite heart hitter. And we've had some really good, strong NXT main events, especially for the women in the past. So it's really hard for me to just pick whichever one, right? But this one had me thinking, oh, they're mean. They're mean girls. Like, oh, they're hitting each other so hard. And that was the selling point.
Oh yes, because we've all seen Jordynne Grace in the ring before. We've all seen her like show power and to be aggressive and be mad. She was really laying that in. Like,
yeah.
There's some heat there. I don't care what nobody says. There's some heat there because there's laying it in. Jordynne like that's in hard. I was like, damn. Is she okay?
Yeah. So that was great. I was a big fan of that, man. They really did steal the show. Thank you so much, Larice Johnson. We got Will Chisholm here who says that's the most stardom match Giulia had in WWE. And I kind of think she needed a match like this, to be honest, because this has been her best match that she's had in NXT so far. Like by miles, maybe aside from the Fatal 4-Way that they did, because I did love the Fatal 4-Way at Stand and Deliver. That was great. But a one-on-one match in NXT, this was Giulia's best performance for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like this kind of style, like this aggressive, like near falls on the head, things like that. This is her wheelhouse for real. So absolutely, yeah.
We got Malcolm Kobe who says, Jordynne and Giulia had me standing in the living room like I was there live. That's always the best, man, when they got you out there jumping up and down, being like, oh shit, what am I seeing here? I was really feeling the vibe of this matchup, man. Again, it felt like a fight. It felt like they hated each other. And even though I felt pretty strongly that Jordynne Grace was going to win this match, it was how she got there and the dominance that she showed in this matchup that was what really won me over. I think it might have regenerated some buzz for both Jordynne Grace and Giulia here.
I have my own little hot take about Giulia, if I can say it. It's a wild one.
Hot take. Take your wild take, Chin.
Now there was footage of Finn Balor talking to Roxanne Perez backstage, right? What if the theory is Finn Balor starts his own group, starts Balor Club, and screws Liv and Raquel out of the tag titles in favor of Roxanne and Giulia?
Hey, yo! Chin. I like it.
I know, right? Because it's something like, because I saw them like, why are they talking backstage? Because, everything's intentional now with Triple H's WWE. Everything is for a reason. So I think there has to be something there with that.
I'm about to bust out my Booker T commentary. I like it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I'm here for this. I think it would be totally different. And it would be that thing that gives, Giulia and Roxanne this extra sort of credibility to have somebody like Finn Balor to give them, the rub, I guess. Yeah. And it would also kind of just make Finn Balor more interesting. I think Finn Balor has needed a little bit of an extra, I don't know how to say. He's been kind of cheesy and corny on the Judgment Day. All right, we need something to make him back to that old cool Finn Balor. I miss old cool Finn Balor. And so I would kind of love to see it if we saw Finn team himself up, form a new little group there with the cool new Chicas on Raw. I would be on board with that, but who knows whether or not that'll come true, Chin. But if it does, you get brownie points for that. Thank you so much, Malcolm Kobe. We got Sleaze Boy here who says, if Chelsea Green ever loses the title, I want to see her try to run off with it, but gets chased and beat down by the female roster like Shooter and Happy Gilmore. If anybody can pull something like that off, it would be Chelsea Green.
That would be hilarious, though.
We got Steven Marchuli who says, your picks for women's Money in the Bank for me, Roxanne Perez. That's Steven. I haven't thought that far ahead. I'll be honest with you all. I don't think I've thought too far ahead as to who's winning the women's Money in the Bank. I would love Roxanne Perez. I can't sit here and lie to you, but I'm not so sure on calling her name out just yet. What about you, Chin?
I definitely will love Roxanne Perez as well too. Because of course, Money in the Bank it's suited better as a heel prop anyway. So I feel a heel should win, either her or Chelsea. I feel Chelsea would be a great person to have Money in the Bank as well, though, because I feel it's her time to send up into that world title picture anyway, though. So Roxanne Perez, Chelsea Green.
Interesting. All right. I still have to brainstorm my picks a little bit more. We got Terrence Johnson here who says, Rit, Pat, Chin, thought on Gunther's promos. Oh, yeah. Rit, Pat McAfee is what he's trying to say. And Chin, what were your thoughts on Gunther's promo with Pat McAfee last night on Raw?
I was so happy to hear Gunther be that vicious, that aggressive. I mean, that angry. Like his character motivation mindset, I feel, is so on par for a man that just lost the world title to a man he felt was a joke. And then I'm getting handled. I'm in a feud with a commentator. Well, I'm gonna kill you. Like, that's how I feel. Like, that's the energy I like to see from him, whatever. And so I'm very happy to see Gunther back on track. He needed something to keep him like fresh and keep him like on TV after losing the world title. And I felt this was a great way to do it. I'm hoping this will segue to Ilya Dragunov. That's what I want him versus the Mad Dragon. But I think he's still injured for a while. I think he's gonna be out till like end of the year. I think probably closer to the Rumble, if I'm not mistaken. He may be back at Rumble, but him. I heard rumors of Goldberg, which would be cool.
It's gonna happen, Chin. At some point in this calendar year, we're gonna get Goldberg and Gunther, regardless of how anyone feels about it. They've already made too much headway on that. Like, you're going on. I think it was on ESPN, where Goldberg basically alluded to all of this and also said he was going to be having his last match. Like, officially said he was having his last match in WWE this year and alluded to it being against Gunther. So I do hope that this feud, or rather, this matchup with Pat McAfee, I hope that it brings back some of the, I want to see Gunther go out there and kill Pat McAfee, because at the end of the day, Pat McAfee's a commentator and an on-air personality, and Gunther's a pro wrestler. So I want to see Gunther like rip poor Pat McAfee to shreds and get back some of that killer Gunther aura. That's what he needs, because I think a lot of that aura was stripped away and people were like, oh, Gunther's boring. Like, that was the conversation online. I don't think Gunther's boring. So they need to get Gunther, remind people what he can do. I saw someone on Twitter be like, oh yeah, let's all get together and start talking about how the IWC overhyped Gunther and he's not really that good. I nearly passed out when I saw that. So anyways, thank you, Terrence Johnson.
We love Gunther.
Right. And I hate that this run like kind of took people like they're not really feeling that interested in Gunther.
I truly felt that certain opponents that he should have had during his run weren't available, like Ilya Dragunov. Like, there's certain people who should have been around for his feud. I would have loved to have seen Chad Gable and him go at it again, because I feel like that should have been something more there. A David versus Goliath thing, but hey, I'm not the booker. Hey.
They should have had him feud with Ludwig Kaiser. They teased many times. They're not even coming out together anymore. And Ludwig Kaiser's been just doing the same thing every week. And Gunther could have been doing that instead of having those multiple matches with Jey Uso before. And then that way Jey Uso and Gunther could have felt more fresh heading into WrestleMania. So personally, I think he should have been feuding with Ludwig Kaiser a long time ago, but hey, that's just me. Anyways, we got Jay Stone here who says Giulia got dropped on her head like 3 times and ate those. What a beast. Hoping they establish Miles' legacy. Tavion as the next guys to watch for the men. So let's talk about this, because we had a battle royal today to determine the new #1 contender for Oba Femi's NXT championship over at NXT Battleground. So mixed feelings on this. On one hand, there aren't very many options for Oba Femi. We've exhausted this conversation. I'm not even going to go and continue that. On the bright side, Miles Bornchin, I thought looked really good in this battle royal. Mind you, the Battle Royal was like so. I really thought the star of it was Javon Evans. I thought he's what really made the matchup very fun. There was multiple times where it looked like he was going to get eliminated, but he hung on there until eventually he wasn't able to anymore. But I did think that Miles Bourne, like, he caught my eye towards the latter end of this matchup. How do you feel, Miles Bourne versus Obafemi?
I did like it. It's something new. We need, again, we've always said we need new rivalries and we need more men in the division. So the best way to do it is to elevate them. Although some people may not like the way it happens, some people like, oh, why? What about him? Why him? We have to like let it play out and see how it goes, though, because we need more guys in the picture. And I've said for a long time, let no quarter catch crew cook. We saw what happened with Metaphor. We saw, well, up until last week, we saw what happened with Last Legend and things like that. Those breakout people, and I was like, let them cook. Let's see what happens. So this is a good one. I see Oba retaining, of course, but I do see a very good showing happening from Miles and Oba, similar to what Thea Hail and Roxanne had at Great American Bash. It's a very, very good match to be like, wow, Miles is somebody we need to look at in the future for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. And I don't hate it. It's not a match that I'm like jumping up and down for, but I don't hate the idea of seeing this. So thank you so much, Jay Stone. We got Sleaze Boy here who says, if WWE cared about the Street Profits, they should have released The Rock. They should have released The Rock's hairstylist, and Travis Scott for ruining WrestleMania's main event. The fans, profits. Oh, you mean profits like money, not the Street Profits. No wonder I'm reading this and I'm like, what do the Street Profits have to do with The Rock? What? All right, let me reread this. Sleaze Boy says, if WWE cared about profits, not the Street Profits, they should have released The Rock's hairstylist, and Travis Scott for ruining WrestleMania's main event. The fans should have rioted like it was Astro World 2021. Oh God. Yeah, that was awful. That was very, very awful. Sleaze Boy, thank you so much for the comment. It took me a second to understand it, but thank you. We got Hassan Batla here who says, y'all hear El Grande beat Dragon Lee for the speed title. Look, I like the gimmick, but he should not be beating an actual luchador for the title. Look, Hassan, I don't know what they're doing anymore with that. I've just kind of let it be at this point. I'm not gonna, act all crazy about anything, but I don't know how else to say this. Like they are clearly very invested in pushing El Grande Americano.
And I will say, just play devil's advocate. Is the speed title really a title, guys? Is it really? It is, but they really should. The whole thing.
I just don't care about the speed title or the speed matches or anything. Like I never ever hear or see the matches.
It's on Tubi, right?
It's on Twitter. It's like a Twitter tournament.
Twitter. Okay, that's on. Okay.
Yeah. That's how under the radar it is. And I live on Twitter and I never see this. The only time I ever hear about it is when people are saying, like, oh yeah, there's a brand new speed champion. And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't even know like this was even happening. So yeah. Wild. All righty, guys. Thank you so much, Hassan Batla. We got Christopher Marino who says, why do Japanese wrestlers hate their necks? Savage. Thank you, Christopher. We got Bob Ross Jr. who says, I forgot to mention in my other super chat, Giulia versus Io will basically be Marigold versus Stardom. I can't wait for them to do Giulia versus Io. That's going to be a hell of fun. Thank you so much, Bob Ross. We got Corey MacArthur in the building. Corey says, major goosebumps on your assessment and prediction for Trick Willie and Joe Hendry. I agree 1000%. The women have stepped up in pro wrestling. Love Jordynne and Giulia. Hey, yo, Denise and Chin, how are you? Thank you, Corey, for your enthusiastic super chat. A lot to kind of dive into here. I'm ready for a big, like, a decently sized surprise that we do see Trick Williams defeat Joe Hendry for the TNA Championship. I think it would be a fun surprise.
Absolutely. I think it will be really, really great. First of all, shout out to Corey with the good hairline, man. That's my guy. I live my hairline vicariously through yours. You know what I'm saying? You guys see you boys. It's gone. It's gone. Like it's gone.
Chin, you always turn into like a totally different person.
Whole different person, right? Whole different. Like, whoa, wait a minute, hey man, wait.
I'm like, who is that?
Yeah.
You gotta put a warning sign, Chin. You gotta put a warning. A warning before you take off your hat.
Just whip it out like that. Whoa, hey, man. Oh,
my eyes.
Yeah,
my eyes. So sad. Great. We're gonna give Chinedu I'm gonna give Chinedu a complex. He's gonna be scared to take off his hat in real life. So sad. Corey, with that being said, yes, the women have stepped up in pro wrestling, and it's cool to see them continuously be talked about nonstop. I feel like at this point, I'm talking more about the women, especially on Tuesday, than like any others.
Absolutely. Best division of wrestling, hands down.
Ender Buckley says, from Chin to young Uncle Phil.
Oh, whoa. Listen, man.
Oh my God. We need to do a side by side. Sorry, this is too good to be true.
Let me see.
I'm going to do a side by side picture of you and Uncle Phil.
Let me see.
Hold on.
Because I talk about this in my new set.
I need a. Hold on. All right, hold on. I'm gonna come back to this. I'll come back to this. Hold on, guys. I'm multitasking at the second. All right, let me continue on, and we'll circle back to this. BTW at the opening, we did get Dark State defeating Joe Hendry and Hank Walker and Tank Ledger. Of course, that was because of Trick Williams and Joe Hendry were basically like fighting in and out of the show. But Chinedu, what did you think of like Dark State and seeing them in action once again?
I predict the match ended the way I felt it should. You know, Dark State should continue their role, continue their run. We're building them up. They should continue to win. Although, you know, I still feel they need some adjustments still to be considered a real threat. I felt the right team won for what they want Dark State to do. Yeah, it made sense for Trick to come out, interfere, cost the match though. So I felt everything in terms of storylines went the way it should have gone.
I love it. I love it. All right. Sorry, I'm not saying I love it to Dark State. I'm looking at the picture of
we got it.
I got it. Hold on. Let me pop it up. Hold on. I'm about to pop it up on the screen. For the audio listeners, people are saying that Chinedu looks like Uncle Phil. Let me see if I can remove. Wait. Dang it. I can't do it. I can't get you. And let me see. Dang it, I can't get you guys both on the screen, but there you go, kind of. There you go.
There we go.
See, I see it.
See a little bit.
Oh man, that's so funny. All righty, guys. Well, there you have it. Chin, this is a family show. Put your hat back on. This is a family show. We got to keep keep it PG around here. Oh no! Not everyone's saying who you look like. Taylor 72 says you look more like Suge Knight.
Suge. Hey, did he pull Suge Knight?
That's too funny. All right, well, that's where we're at right now. All right, let me keep it moving. We got a super chat here from Professor Elm 13 who says, man, guys, every lady that got released on Friday was in a tag team. Cora could have been forever tied to Roxanne, like Sammy and KO, #, retire the tag belts. You know, it's funny that you say that, Professor Elm, because I had that thought had crossed my mind like way back, like before any of this, right? But when we would see Cora and Jade, I remember I would kind of get like deep into my thoughts, and I would sometimes think about like the future, right? You know, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. And I remember thinking, man, if these are the girls that are main eventing WrestleMania like several years from now, it's going to be kind of crazy that they've been linked together since NXT and, you know, once they're grown women. So yeah, I always did kind of see them in that light where I thought that they would be linked up for, you know, the foreseeable future.
I was very surprised at Cora Jade's release. So of course, you know, I do feel very sad about people, you know, losing their employment though. But you know, we do know this is what happens WWE around this time of year after WrestleMania though. But again, some of the people were very shocking. I hate that, you know, that metaphor ended the way it did too though, because that last segment really was their last segment. Who knew? And they were
felt really bad for Jakara.
I know, because I felt like they were just getting ready to like have them explore the tag team division, and you know, at least like have them like go to the main roster, fill out the women's division, see what they do, you know, develop and things like that. But I hate that happened, especially with Aura and Jakara, and then with Cora Jade too. Again, like we felt like there was so much more of the story to be told between her and Roxanne. Like I thought they were still leading to them coming back together. And I know I said I didn't want to see it overall compared to her going to the main roster, but I ain't mean fire the girl. I mean, God dog, what you doing? Like, don't fire them. Like I still feel, but I do feel like at her age, with 25, 26, how old is Cora Jade? 25?
24.
24. There's no way she won't be back in WWE again. No, I feel like she should probably go out, probably AEW for a couple years, make you money because Cora can actually wrestle, can actually go in the ring and can go put promos. Well. So I feel like she will be much needed in that division. I feel like the women division AEW is sorely lacking, in my opinion. They need more people out there, So I feel like her and like versus, an Athena, something like that would be really great though. Make some good money. Come on back in a couple years, around 26, 27. And pick up where she left off. That's just what I'm believing for her.
Dude, they broke up my Gothic girls, man. Remember how much I love Gigi and Tatum? That one hurt. That one really, really hurt.
And I'm just like, for me, it's again like we said to all these tag teams, what are these girls gonna do now? Like, so what's the new creative direction? Because I feel like they were legit one of the few people that felt like an actual tag team.
Yeah, I feel bad about that one. I was all pitching ideas here for them. I was putting them over the week before, so excited about their future. They're my Gothic girls, man. They undid my Gothic girl dream. But yeah, so we'll see what they end up doing. Of course, the world is their oyster. They are all very young, Gigi, and I actually don't know how old Gigi is. I don't know how old Chikara is, but I assume they're young. So I think they'll be okay. Professor Elm 13, thank you so much for the super chat there. Alrighty, another match that we had that was a pretty good one today was Kehlani Jordan versus Zaria, and so this one here, Zaria got a big victory over Kehlani. I love the spears that she was getting her with, but eventually finished Kehlani off. This was, I thought, one of Zaria's biggest victories to date. What'd you think of this?
Absolutely. I like this match. Although I'm a big Kehlani fan, I do feel it was high time Zaria got a meaningful win on television, just because I felt like it's been a while since I've seen her really do anything of real relevance as a single star. I hate it had to be off Kehlani though, but I feel Kehlani can eat a pin.
She just defeated Roxanne the other day, like a couple weeks ago.
Yes, so I feel like I hate it had to be her, but at the same time, I feel like Kehlani is strong enough to eat a pin and come back next week and be just fine. But I want to see what this leads. So I'm hoping this will eventually lead to a Zaria heel turn against Soruka for that title, because I do feel Zaria is better suited as a heel. I don't understand why she's out here. She looks like a heel. And go ahead talking so nice. Like,
their friendship is cute, but I'd rather see them as enemies. How sad.
Yes, me too. That's what I want. I want bitter enemies.
Yeah, exactly. And Anthony Giuliano reminds us, and Shotzi too. Yeah, she's another one that, is very, very sweet gal. So, she was just kind of like bouncing, like never really found her footing. I thought she was going to get over with when she was, remember when she came out and she had the spiky hair and she was like going crazy. I thought that was going to be like the thing for her. And then it just didn't end up happening. So very unfortunate. Thank you, Anthony. All right. With that being said, let's continue on. Let's see what we haven't gotten into. Oh yeah, your girl Jaida Parker versus Carmen Petrovic, and Carmen Petrovic is basically celebrating the fact that she dumped Ashanti the Adonis. He's no longer weighing her down, and I could not be happier about this. But what actually really, so two things that I want to say about this. One, Carmen, she's improving every week, so shout out to her. She's really starting to like grow on me on the show. But more importantly here is Thea Hail and Jaida Parker. I kind of love this. Jaida telling Thea she's a little girl and she's this tiny little thing, and all of these really mean words that she's saying to Thea Hail. I want to see Thea and Jaida go at it. And I want to see Thea kind of prove that, hey, don't freaking doubt me. I'm not a little girl. I'm a woman, and I'm going to use you to set an example. So part of me wants to see Thea just like fire up, because I do think she needs to let everybody know. She needs to change the perception of her. She went from, whatever she was on Chase University to now she's in a division with a lot of, like you said, Chinedu girls. And so now she needs to prove herself there. And in order to do so, what do, Chin? What do they say? You always go for the biggest guy. If you want to assert your dominance and let people know you can't be punked around, you go after the biggest person in the yard. You go after the big dog. So in this situation, the big dog is Jaida. That's where I'm at right now. I want to see Thea fire back.
You ain't never lied, Denise. Okay. And like you said, it is very true. She's no longer in Chase U. So I feel like this is a great time to reset who she is. Because I don't want to see the perky little young upstart 19, 20-year-old happy to be here. That's done. Like I said, she's in a full division. Like you said, with the girls. Okay. If you want to be one of the girls, all right, you got to step it up and face one of the biggest ones in the yard, which is Miss Parker. Again, like Thea Hail is a very nice girl in the division. We love her, and I feel like she's still a fan favorite, but that will only last so long unless we see something new, a refresh. And I feel like she needs that going against Jaida Parker. I feel will definitely do that, though, because if there's anybody on this roster that is one of the girls, and if you are new here, girls, GWORLS, girls, okay? Those are the ones in the division that are the ones, okay? The ones and the ones, all right? Miss Parker and Thea Hail will be a great match. Although I do not want to see Miss Parker lose any matches, though, I feel to help Thea Hail elevate, it will be good. It'll be worth it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that there. All right, we got a couple more super chats and then we'll be wrapping up. Let's see. We got Anthony Giuliano here. It says Jaida knock out Thea with that hip attack. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I'm saying. Like Thea's got to prove herself. Like this is her chance to show her feisty, scrappy self. We got Bob Ross Jr. who says Chase U is basically the Alpha Academy of NXT. Yeah, to a certain degree. Jesus, what do we got today? Andre Chase trying a brand new sweater. Okay, so I have like a secret fantasy that I want to see unfold here. Okay, I don't know what the two guys' names that maybe the chat here knows that are with Chase U. That I don't feel like they've said their names enough. They need to say their names more. Okay, I don't remember their team names, but the two guys, y'all know which ones I'm talking about that are with the new Chase U. I want them to act like they're friends with Andre Chase, and I want them to gain his trust and gain some like admiration. And then I want them to strike while the iron's hot and completely destroy the school and completely dismantle Andre Chase.
I like that idea.
Stab.
For me, I've been calling them Cody. I've been calling them Zach and Cody. That's what I've been calling them in my head. I figure in my head is Zach and Cody. Zach and Cody out here, you know what I'm saying, doing stuff though. But I want the same thing too. I do not want them. I want them to, I want Chase U to be done for what it is though, because the Andre Chase's character to me, although I've enjoyed him in the past, it's the same thing over and over again. And when I see a repeat of the same character again, it's like, okay, man, we got to do something different. Like he can't go back to being the bumbling leader of Chase U, who once again is tricked by somebody else again. There's no way. Final picture, by the way. So you remember I told you about Jaida Park and Lola Vice being in Chase U? They were in
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, imagine she would have stuck around on Chase U. You would have never seen your little Miss Parker.
And I'd have been sad. Y'all know I love y'all know I love me some Miss Parker.
By the way, thank you so much to Algo here, who says Kale Dixon and Uriah Connors. Thank you. And also Austin Wright. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. Kale Dixon, Uriah Connors. Remember that, Chin. Embed it in your head because I'm going to forget next week.
Zach and Cody. All right. Got you.
Uriah Connors, Kale Dixon. Okay. UCKD. That's how I'm going to remember it. UCKD.
Zach and Cody.
Uncle Chin, Kale Denise. Uncle Chin, Kale Denise. This is how I remember stuff. Uncle Chin, Kale Denise.
It's a very
Uriah
good mnemonic
Connors,
device.
Kale Dixon. Yes, I do the mnemonic devices all the time. Like every time I park somewhere, let's say I'm on 5P in the building. I'll be like, all right, 5 pizzas. Let's go. 5 pizzas. That's where I parked. I always do a mnemonic device so that I can remember things. So let's see if it works for this one. We'll see. All right. But with that being said, guys, did we talk about everything? Sorry, sometimes I forget to get into little things that happen backstage. So I'm pretty sure we got into everything that went down on today's show. Oh yeah, I should probably mention too. I forgot to mention this during the Battle Royal because I got so caught up with Miles Bourne. We did see Elijah, the former Elias, come back, and he was part of the Battle Royal. Can't forget to mention that. It's so funny to me, Chin, like seeing people that were formerly in WWE but are now in TNA come back to NXT. It's funny to me because there's like this weird, okay, so do we like cheer for them with their old WWE name, or do we cheer for them with their new TNA names? Like everyone gets cheered based off their old WWE stuff. Like it happened with Fandango, and it happened today again. Obviously, you know, Elias is a lot closer to Elijah, but still, you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of weird.
It really was. The fact they're even chanting "Welcome home." Look,
All right, like you're not back permanently, you know,
yeah,
like it's weird.
yeah, it's just because I'm only here because the division's weak, guys. That's it. I'm not even winning, guys. It's just, you know, all right, let's get started. You know, that's how it was. But it was good to see him.
Johnny,
Love his gimmick.
they muted Elias chants. I didn't even realize that.
You know, because like, it did get quiet for a little bit. I thought they were saying like the holy ish, whatever. I thought they were saying that. That's why they muted it though. But they were saying Elias.
Because when he said his Elijah, and then the whole crowd said it with him, I heard the whole crowd say Elias, even though he said Elijah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's weird. Like, what are we supposed to do? Like, let's all get on the same page and decide what we're doing.
And if you're a fan like me, I'm like, look, I don't care about the Elias, okay? I don't care about no Dutch, you know, no the walk with Elias, okay? That's what I know. That's what we seeing that. I don't care about no doggone Elijah.
And it's gonna happen to everybody. Anybody that comes back that has any sort of different name, they're gonna get cheered for what they were in WWE. So that's just where we're at with that.
Yeah, Nick Nimitz, look, it's Dolph. Look at me, we don't care. We don't care.
That's the way it is. All righty, guys. Well, there you have it. That was our NXT post show for today. And because you guys, oh wait, we got a couple of super chats. Whoops. We got this one from Anthony Giuliano here, who says, "Fun fact: Jaida did get baptism this past weekend." Wait, is this legit? She got baptized?
Yeah, she did. It's on her Instagram. She did get baptized this past weekend. She did.
Oh, to like what?
Oh, well, I think just her church. I think I don't know if it's a born again Christian thing or, but I did see her.
Okay.
I did see her story though that she did. I believe this is her recommitting her life to Christ. I believe.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. Oh, thank you for sharing that, Anthony. I had not seen that. I wasn't sure because, you know, like everyone has like a different religion. I'm not sure which ones are all doing baptisms, which ones are not. So I'm like, okay, which one? I'm like, I need a little bit more information.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, though, because this is an NXT podcast, I want to let you all know that on Instagram right now, @ Denise Salcedo, I am actually giving away 2 tickets to Worlds Collide over in Los Angeles. Even if you guys don't want to enter because you can't go or something, please still share the video. It would really help me out a whole lot, guys. I purchased all the tickets myself. I am currently also doing a SummerSlam ticket giveaway on YouTube, which is up right now. You guys can check it out. There's still 6 more days to enter. The SummerSlam Instagram giveaway ends today, actually. And so if you guys still want to get in on that, you can. But the big one, though, that I just added right now is Worlds Collide. And again, since this is an NXT podcast, go there @ Denise Salcedo. I also want to let you guys know, because I don't do a great job of promoting this, so I made sure to do so, that I am available to listen to over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search up Instinct Culture by Denise Salcedo. Go follow the page, and maybe if someday you need something to listen to on a car ride, you will click us and listen to us. And I upload all of the shows on this podcast feed: Spotify, Apple Pods, and everywhere else you listen to podcasts. All right, Chin, what do you got going on? Let the world know.
Oh, of course. You know, we just completed the first leg of the tour of the MI Age Mate Tour. Very excited about it. Houston, Texas. Thank you all so much for a great show. Over 200 of us packed out the Improv. I appreciate y'all so much. Great show. Y'all bought a lot of merch. I appreciate that so much. And I'll be in San Antonio later this month. Can't wait for that one. Tickets are already selling out there, as well as Cypress, Pasadena. I've also added the Woodlands, Sugarland, and Lake Jackson. So I will be on tour for the rest of the year pretty much. So guys, I'll get you tickets to come see me live. I hear in Texas. Outside Texas dates will be available very soon, guys. It takes a long time. It's expensive. Getting things situated though. So getting them situated, flights, booking, all that kind of stuff, all my venues secured and all that. That's on the way. Tickets available at chineduogu.com. But in the meantime, guys, go participate in this giveaway, y'all. This is a big deal. Let me tell you something. Wrestling tickets are not cheap, okay? I don't know what promotion is, all right? And Denise went out of pocket for this, out of pocket. Support the homie, okay? It goes a very long way when you share, post, like, because companies, real talk, they see the numbers, okay? They need to see that Denise is reaching y'all, which she is. Reaching every week. So all you got to do is just confirm what we already know, that y'all tune in and pull up for the homie Salcedo, okay? Go over there, share it, like it, drop a comment as well, and come back here and watch all the amazing videos on this page. She drops content every day. Oh, look at this great. Look at this right there. Watch it, share it, okay? It goes a long way when you share the stories, okay? Comment, like, share. Don't be a dick. Give it a click.
Alrighty, guys, that's it for us today. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow for AEW Dynamite content. Catch you on the next one. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.